on. I will say this. It's a classic. You're not going to get rid of it, but I don't want to ride it.
I think the old Runaway train coaster thing has been done to death. This is going to bring up a whole other thing.
Shame.
Mine Train is essentially the same ride as Big Thunder.
Bang, 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 bang. Chaos in the dark.
This podcast was brought to you by the Magic Candle Company. Relive your favorite theme park memories through the magical sense of smell. Receive 15% off at checkout by using discount code DEBATE and help our channel in the process.
Welcome, everybody, to Diz or That, a Disney debate podcast. Welcome to episode number 8. My name is Justin.
And I am Chris, like usual, and we are, episode number 8.
8! Welcome to the happiest debate on Earth today. We're going to be doing a little bit of a mountain battle. We're going to be taking two mountains. We're going to be putting them up against each other, seeing which of the two is the better ride. Chris, what are our two mountains this week?
Our two mountains are Splash Mountain. No.
Not Splash Mountain.
Not Splash Mountain.
We've been joking about this all day.
It's in my head now. It's in my head. We're going to be doing Big Thunder Mountain.
Big Thunder Mountain.
And Space Mountain. What I like about the mountain battle is that we had some options to pick from. There's a lot of different mountains you have in Disney.
Yeah.
Specifically, though, we're doing the Walt Disney World Big Thunder Mountain.
More or less. Yes. I think that makes sense.
Of course, Space Mountain, a Disney World icon. Of course, so
absolutely.
So I think we'll get into it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think we'll primarily stick to our Disney World roots, but I got some points here, and I got some stuff that we can chat about. Specifically, one of the reasons why I think Space Mountain is the better mountain, and for those of you listening, I'll be taking Space Mountain. Chris will be taking Big Thunder Mountain. But I think one of the biggest reasons, Space Mountain is just clearly the better mountain. It's at more of the theme parks. Today we'll be talking more about the Disney World version, but Space Mountain is at 5 of the 6 Disneyland style theme parks, and Big Thunder Mountain is only in 4. So I'm just saying, right off the top, right there, we got Space Mountain in Disneyland, Magic Kingdom, Tokyo, Paris, and Hong Kong, where Big Thunder is only in Disneyland, Magic Kingdom, Tokyo, and Paris. So I mean, what do you got to say there, boy? What do you got to say there? I think I win. I think I win right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree. I don't think that makes a difference necessarily. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, there are some differences, with the different parks. So yes. I mean, my focus is going into Magic Kingdom just because it's the most familiar I'm with. But I think still the idea still applies of what we're dealing with, what we're looking at, right?
I think, it definitely makes sense. There definitely are a bunch of differences. If you look at all of these different rides, it's vastly different. I watched all of the different ride footage from every one of the parks, and like extremely different rides, extremely different. I think I like Disney World's the best out of all of them. I think you have some elements that are pretty cool from Disneyland for as far as Space Mountain goes. There's some stuff in the France version that I like as far as Space Mountain, but I think Disney World does a very good job at sort of like being a middle ground between all of those on both of these rides, not just Space Mountain or Big Thunder. There's some really cool projection mapping stuff in both of them, actually. There's some really cool projection effects in the Space Mountain version at Disneyland. And there's some also really cool like dynamite effects that happen in some of the Big Thunder mountains, and really, really neat. But there's sort of a sense of like smallness that happens at Big Thunder Mountain in Disneyland. And I like the way Disney World has a little bit more breath, a little bit more air. It feels bigger. And I mean, that's just kind of the general consensus anyway with Disney World.
It feels big.
Right?
And yeah, I mean, I think Big Thunder Mountain at Disney World, it's a pretty long ride. It's a pretty long roller coaster.
Definitely.
You're on that for a while, and it kind of surprises you with each new lift. There's 3 different lifts on that roller coaster.
Okay. Yep.
So you think you're coming to the end, and you're going up another lift, and you're going up another lift, but it's long. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of visuals too, which I think this is why I know what you're going to say with Space Mountain, but I think Big Thunder Mountain has a lot to look at in the ride. It's almost like I can't compare it to a newer roller coaster like Hagrid's Motorbike. But with Hagrid's Motorbike, part of the fun of that is all it's not just a roller coaster. It's not just the thrill. It's all the scenery that you're going past, everything you're looking at. And I think Big Thunder Mountain does a really good job at that. And yeah, it does feel big. It feels like you're on a big roller coaster, even though it doesn't take up, I guess, that much space relative to other roller coasters, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's just a big thing with Disney World in general, is that they fit these roller coasters into very small places. And they're not, we're not talking about big, giant Six Flags roller coasters here, obviously, but they make a really good ride out of that really small space.
Yeah. I think there is something too just to be done with the theming of everything. Like whether it's the show building of Space Mountain just kind of looking as iconic as it is, or just how Big Thunder Mountain fits into the environment where it just doesn't feel like a coaster anymore. Where some of those big like coasters at Six Flags and some other theme parks, it just looks like a big monstrosity in the middle of everything. It's not themed. It's just a coaster. So you kind of like it can be a really big coaster while feeling small or feeling like it's authentically a part of that world. And I think both of our coasters today do a good job of nestling into the lands that they're a part of.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Specifically Frontierland and Big Thunder Mountain. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, perfect. And you don't think Space Mountain and Tomorrowland fit?
I don't.
That is like
the why?
Icon
you know why I don't think that?
Yeah,
because there's no mountain.
Are you kidding me?
Where's
Have you
the
looked
mountain?
at it? I mean, it's
a big
virtually
building.
A mountain. It's a
Big Thunder Mountain. You're climbing up an actual mountain.
Sure.
The queue is you're climbing up a mountain. You're climbing up stairs, and you're going up.
Yeah.
Space Mountain. It's not really a mountain. I mean, what's the mountain when you go up?
Well, I think in the future there are no more mountains, right? Mother Nature has destroyed the earth, and we have to make man-made things. So I think that's the story, right? It's the big
canon?
building. I don't know if that's actually canon. I know that there is some canonicity to it. I know that there's like I was looking at some images when I was doing some research of all the different space mountains, and they were sort of like acting as space stations floating in the sky, like in space. So I don't know if that is like part of the canon, if it's supposed to be a space station or if it's supposed to be something on Earth before you go up into space. I don't know the full canonicity of it all.
Now, is Space Mountain the first mountain, or was Splash Mountain before?
Dude, I don't know.
Do you know that?
I don't have that research available to me. Yeah.
I'm
sure it's available.
I'm thinking.
Somewhere, but...
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be. I don't know when. So I know Space Mountain's 75.
Okay. Yeah.
Big Thunder Mountain's a little bit newer. And it feels it. It feels a little bit newer. 1980.
Sure, yeah. It feels post Walt, right? It doesn't have Walt's magical touch. So yeah.
I don't think riding around in the dark has a magic touch either.
You mean like every dark ride that Walt worked on?
No. Space Mountain
we'll get there.
So bad that they needed to make 2 new rides that are basically Space Mountain on steroids, such as Guardians and Tron. Far superior versions of Space Mountain.
I think they're very different than Space Mountain. I think they're absolutely just different experiences completely.
Indoor roller coaster in the dark, space theme or future theme.
I mean, you can't say that for Marvel. Marvel isn't technically space themed. It's Marvel themed. That's very different.
It's
in a completely different universe. It's a completely different universe.
You're in space. You're flying around planets in that ride.
Sure, but I mean, it's not a. It's a Marvel IP. It's a different world. It's a different thing. It's under different pretexts. It's not just a journey into space.
The ride in general, though, is better. And I'm going to be... So I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion. I think it might be.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I really am interested to see. I think Space Mountain has a lot of the buzz. So I think if you ask like a large people, you're gonna say Space Mountain or Big Thunder Mountain. People will say Space Mountain just based on name recognition. but I think Big Thunder Mountain is for if you are at Disney World or another park, or you're talking specifically to people that go to Disney a lot. I think people probably like Big Thunder Mountain more than Space Mountain.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
So
I think you kind of proved your own point there by saying
no, I don't think so. I think everyone thinks they like Space Mountain, but Space Mountain is not comfortable.
You're telling people, well, I mean, and this is again, Space Mountain is so big and these rides are so large that they are at many theme parks. So you're going to have like a majority of people who've experienced multiple versions of Space Mountain, because the ride vehicles are completely different at Disneyland than they are at Disney World. You have 2-seater vehicles over at Disneyland than you do at Disney World. Disney World, I think, is the only one that has a single rider, which is part of the beauty, man. You know what? I get it. It's a little bit like the Matterhorn. It's a little bit uncomfortable in that way. A little bit different, a little bit
janky. If you're claustrophobic, say goodbye to that roller coaster.
I'm just saying, though, it's one of the only roller coasters that you can experience, I think, at Magic Kingdom, at Disney World, at many of the parks, that is a single rider experience. I think that's cool. That's super unique. That's something that nobody else has. It also has multiple tracks. You have 2 tracks. It's single rider. You can ride that thing a handful of times. There's re-rideability, and you can go by yourself. You can do it as many times as you want. I think that's awesome. I want to.
I come out there, I feel shaken up like a smoothie
because you're on a roller coaster.
My head hurts. Oh no, it's bang 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 bang. It's back and forth. I just don't like it. I do want to say though, just because I'm gonna forget, this was the first. This was the first mountain. The first Space Mountain at the Walt Disney World. I don't know if it was the first
mountain.
No.
Space Mountain. Yep.
No, the first mountain was Matterhorn.
Yes, that would make sense. Matterhorn would make sense. So this is the second mountain, and then is the Walt Disney World the first mountain at Disney World? Is that what you just like? Space Mountain is the first mountain at Disney World. Is that what you said?
It was the first Space Mountain made. The Disney World one.
Yes. Which kind of tracks. Like when you look at that ride and you look at the Disneyland one, I don't know how many updates have been done to the Disneyland ride. But you can tell.
I do think it's the first mountain at Disney World.
Okay.
I mean,
it definitely feels
3 options there at that point. But yeah, I mean, I think. Well, it definitely feels that way. It feels very old.
In a good way. In an old classic Disney kind of way. I think it's great. I think that's awesome.
I think it's a classic. I will say this. It's a classic. You're not going to get rid of it, but I don't want to ride it. I don't want to ride it.
For the history of it though, right? Come on, man. Like we got to go on it.
I do. I have. Obviously, I ride it every now and then. If you're telling me the wait's like, if it's like a 10-minute wait and you're like, oh, okay, do you want to go on Space Mountain and there's a 10-minute wait? Then yeah, I'll go on it.
But how long are you waiting for Big Thunder? You're waiting an hour plus? Problem?
No, I will. I'll wait 30 minutes.
30.
I'll wait 30 minutes.
He's saying
for Big
both these rides mid-tier at best.
That's a 30-minute wait. I'm not. You might get me at 40 minutes. If you're saying, no, actually, never mind. I take that
40
back.
minutes is too long.
40 minutes is far too long.
So I guess the real question would be, okay, you go to the park. It's an hour plus wait. It's an hour wait, hour plus. You buying a lightning lane for Big Thunder, or would you rather buy a lightning lane for Space Mountain? Or are you walking on both?
If I have lightning lane, if I have Genie Plus lightning, then I maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
he's a maybe for going on.
So with Genie now, you really got to plan your day out. You only get so many rides with Genie throughout the day.
Yeah,
you can probably get
about it
4 or 5 rides in, honestly, through Genie, and I think that's even pushing it, getting 5 on Genie. But I mean, I think Big Thunder Mountain would be one of those that I pick at Magic Kingdom for sure.
Over any other ride.
So I don't know if Snow White, if Mine Train has, that might be, what's that called? Genie Plus Plus?
I don't know.
That might be one of them. I think that's one that you need to spend even more on. I wish I don't buy a lot of Genie Plus.
Sure.
You know,
yeah.
I when you go like all the time, it's
Sure.
those
Yeah. Rub it in.
yeah. When you're there every other weekend, every weekend, you know, it's hard to. But I still feel like I need to. I mean, at some point, I'm gonna find it when the lines are gonna be super low. So
okay.
But enough. Yeah, they're out 30 minutes for Big Thunder, 10 minutes for Space Mountains. That's my gauge. I don't want to wait longer than that.
You know,
not for Space Mountain.
All right.
No way.
It's a personal preference.
Ugh.
The queue is more boring than Big Thunder.
Oh,
I don't think Big Thunder. So this is going to bring up a whole other thing.
Shame.
I got to bring up this point now because we're just going to delve into this a million times. But like, to be honest with you, as much as you're saying that there are newer versions of Space Mountain, I think the old Runaway train coaster thing has been done to death. It is done at every theme park ever. The Runaway train experience happens everywhere. And not only does it happen at every other theme park, but it also happens twice at Magic Kingdom. I don't need two of the same ride, my friend. You got two of the same rides essentially there, and clearly one is better than the other. You're saying it yourself. The lines prove it. Mine Train is essentially the same ride as Big Thunder. Let's be real. It's the Runaway train style ride. I wouldn't say it's
even close to being the same.
Well, Wikipedia says that they are the same style rides. It is literally, if you go onto the Wikipedia of Big Thunder.
That's a coaster style. It's a coaster style. It's not necessarily even a theming.
But they're very similar in that regard. But Mine Train does it better. Mine Train has a better ride system with the swinging train car. It's more themed. It's more
that's
fun.
Like saying Tron is a better version of Space Mountain.
So
Guardians is a better version of Space Mountain. Yeah, but I'm not okay. Those are far superior than Space Mountain. If I'm looking at the,
you don't think there's that big a jump between Mine Train and Big Thunder?
I don't think so.
If you're going to say that Tron is a new version of Space Mountain, and that's a huge gap, but that Mine Train and Big Thunder is not. That's weird to me. I don't think it is.
I
think that's a farce. I think they're fighting a fight right now.
I do not think it is. I mean, Mine Train. The benefit that Mine Train has is that it's smooth. I don't think it's a better roller coaster though.
I'd be hard pressed.
It's smooth. I just don't think it's a better roller. I think as far as a roller coaster goes, as far as what I want when I'm riding a roller coaster, I would take Big Thunder Mountain over Mine Train.
I sat around here, man. I watched an hour plus of ride footage from every Big Thunder Mountain and Space Mountain. I don't think it's that good of a ride. I refreshed myself. I did it. I don't think it's that entertaining. I don't think it's that fun.
Then we got to get you on the ride because it's exciting. And
I've been on it. I've been on it a handful of times.
I know, but we got to get you on another recent time so we can actually fairly say it's exciting. I don't get the same excitement on Mine Train. I don't.
I think that's a farce.
I think Mine Train is a coaster. You know, they're both children coasters. However, I think
every ride at Disney is a family coaster.
I think Mine Train is just not as exciting, not as fun.
I disagree. I think it's way more themed. I think it's more fun. It has so much more going on as far as like the actual implemented storytelling of it. Sure, there's storytelling in Big Thunder. I don't want to get into any fight with any Disney lore person because yes, there's story behind it, but it's just 0 bits apparent.
Oh, I like the scenery. I like better.
The scenery is nice, but the scenery is really good in Mine Train too. Like there's tons of stuff.
It's good when you're it's good when you're going up the mountain. I think that's where Mine Train shines. Otherwise, I don't really think the scenery is in the same way that Big Thunder Mountain is. Big Thunder Mountain is scenery all over the place.
And that's all it is. That's all it is. And that's fine.
It's awesome.
But it's not
awesome.
It's not much better than most of the other sort of Wild West-esque
Space
rides
Mountain
that you can go on. It
is just dark.
Space Mountain has a lot of cool, interesting things that you can't get. Again, what I'm going to bring it back to is the fact that the Runaway train coaster is done at almost every theme park ever, right? So number one there. Number two, the coaster is an outdoor coaster, more or less. I know that we have indoor scenes. I'm not trying to argue that, but more or less, it's an outdoor coaster. And the only thing that you don't see at the lower theme parks, I'll say lower, Six Flags or somewhere else, that's what we'll refer to them as, because Disney is top notch, but the top notch theme parks have the indoor coasters. This is a completely indoor coaster. You don't get that at any other theme park, nor do you get the level of space theming that you get at any other theme park. I can go on a Runaway train coaster.
I do at
anywhere.
Epcot. I can get the space theming at Epcot.
And you're going at Disney. And Disney is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're talking about Disney. We're talking about
yeah.
Disney, and I can do a lot of different indoor coasters at Disney. And I think Space Mountain is the bottom tier of all of them.
But there's none. If you're going to Magic Kingdom, if you only have a ticket for one day at Magic Kingdom, you can only go on one space themed ride. I can go on multiple runaway train rides at Magic Kingdom, right? Right? We can't argue that.
Well, it's not really Runaway train as much as it is. That's the coaster
it's the style of ride, right?
You know,
but there's no other space indoor coaster like there is. There's not the Guardians and you know, you have Tron over there, but that's a completely different ride. I think it's not.
I don't even think it's that. I mean, it feels like Space Mountain when you're riding inside it. It feels like Space Mountain.
When you're riding it either in the car style seat or in the bucket. It's a completely different mechanism there.
As far as the seat goes, but the indoor nature of it, it feels.
You're outdoor for some of it.
For a second, it's so
different.
Brief outdoor.
But the whole ride is
majority
brief too, right?
is. Yeah, but majority of the ride is inside.
But not like Space Mountain where it's 100% inside. It's a very different vibe.
I feel like the inside
field.
It limits it a little bit. The inside nature of it is limiting to the ride because I'm in the dark though. I don't even know what's going on.
You can see stars. You can see other planets. You can see things like the ride footage doesn't show it that well. Cameras aren't great at capturing things in the dark regardless, but it's not that boring of a ride when you're indoors.
No, and you know, I'm not saying it's the most boring ride at Disney World. It's not the most boring ride.
It sounds like that's what you're trying to fight right now.
I'm arguing for Big Thunder Mountain being more exciting, and I think it is.
I think in a way it can be thrilling, but I think you get both the thrills and you get sort of a calming nature when you go on Space Mountain. I don't know if you pick up that vibe when you're riding that ride, but there is this sort of like
I have the
journey
exact
through
opposite.
the galaxy.
That is insane.
You find it more thrilling than relaxing, and you find Big Thunder relaxing?
Well, I'm not riding any of these for relaxation.
Sure, fair.
That's not that's not even a point that I'm making. But I don't find it relaxing. I think it is the jerkiest roller coaster I've ever been on. It almost feels like a mouse coaster.
In a way, sure. I'm not gonna.
It's just like boo, boo, boo. It's like back and forth, and then it's just not. You know, it's not something I need to do every time.
The sights, it's very, very nice. I think it is. I think it's definitely It has the thrills, but it has some relaxing nature to it. I think it's a very unique ride.
Chaos in the dark. When you're riding in that, it's just screams. You're in the dark and it screams. It's more like a horror coaster than anything else. This should be like a scary ride. I don't think it's.
Well, they do.
I don't think it's calming.
There is an overlay, which is one of the other things that I did want to bring up. Is that while we don't see them that much at Walt Disney World, it's one of the only rides that has like a multitude of overlay rides that happen.
Well, I know they do the hyperspace, right? But
Hyperspace Mountain. You have Rockin' Space Mountain where they play, I think Red Hot Chili Peppers was one of the tunes that they would play there. So kind of sort of in the vein of like a rock and roller coaster. And there is a Halloween one, Space Mountain Ghost Galaxy. And there's a few different ones, but it's one of these like Haunted Mansion has the ability to do different overlays and different stuff, but we don't see that much in other rides. And Space Mountain is one of the rides that we actually get to see sort of.
You can do that because it's indoors and dark. You do get that option.
And I think it is something, and I know that there's been chatter on doing something with Space Mountain at Walt Disney World, but that is still an option. And it is a somewhat easy option for them to implement. And I would love to see that. I know that Disney World is for sort of I don't want to say the antique rides, keeping them as pristine and as original as possible, but I think it's something that could be done to add a little more life there if you think that it's not. But it's just not something that's going to be able to happen at Big Thunder. You're going to get the same ride every single time, no matter what.
And I'll still take it. I like the repetitive nature of me riding Big Thunder Mountain 3 times in a row. I'll do that.
I like the fact that not only, we could potentially have overlays, but we have we have two different tracks at Space Mountain. That's sick. I think that's awesome. You don't get that at almost any other ride at Magic Kingdom.
No, you don't have the two options.
That's cool,
You're
man.
right about
Alpha
that.
and Omega. That's really neat.
You're right about that.
That's cool. So it wins. Done deal. I like it. Thank
I
you
don't
for
think it wins.
seceding.
I think there's only one ride that can dislodge a kidney stone, and that is Big Thunder Mountain.
You're talking about the herky-jerky nature. I mean, was that actually part of that study? Was that a part of that study? Because I know that's a thing that they did, the kidney stone test. I don't know if that's...
I think it's more myth than anything else.
Sure.
But it's specifically in the like the spinning when you're going down the down this.
Yes, that's
what I'm talking about when you're going.
The point when
that's
kidney
where
stone
it's
will
supposed to dislodge. And I'm not going to say who, but one of my family members recently went there.
Experienced this firsthand?
Well, they had a kidney stone, so they went there a couple months ago to try to dislodge it on Big Thunder Mountain. Didn't work
on purpose. Okay.
Didn't work.
So we've busted
in
the
that
myth.
case. In that case, it did not work.
So
but
we can't use that as a point
still,
for Big
it's
Thunder.
still fun. You know what? That is a fun.
Did they go on Space Mountain after to see if it would help?
No,
because that probably would. You're talking
30
about
minutes for Space Mountain.
Jerky.
They said I'm not waiting 30 minutes for Space Mountain, and I don't blame them.
Get out of here!
I don't think Big Thunder Mountain is jerky. It's. I got to sit on it, but I don't think it's jerky. Not in the way that Space Mountain is. But I mean, both of these are old roller coasters.
Yes, there's no denying that they're not the most modern of coasters.
They're old. Space Mountain's going to be 50 next year.
Yeah, which is this is probably reasons why the refurbishments have been done at a lot of the other parks. This is why they've updated the coaster styles or the car styles. I don't know if they were all single rider at one point and now they've adjusted to multiple rider, but it seems like it's probably a smoother ride over at Disneyland. I know that is the general.
I have
consensus.
heard that. I have heard that it's a better, more enjoyable experience. I've heard that people that have ridden any other Space Mountain say, "Wow, Chris is very much right on this one." And
yeah, I'm sure.
They
that's
say this.
Exactly
they say this. I've
say.
heard this. I've heard this many times. They say, "I don't even want to go on the Walt Disney World Space Mountain."
Okay,
it's not fun.
Have they updated any of the rides on Big Thunder at anywhere else? Did they update anywhere else? Put any money into it to make that a more comfortable, smooth experience?
They don't need to. It's perfect
I think if you're telling me that it's not the most comfortable of rides in the world, then maybe they do. They do.
It's a roller coaster that you can take any age on, and it's great, and it's fun. It's exciting. Big Thunder Mountain is. I don't know. I think this is probably a lot of individuals' first roller coaster that they've been on.
I don't know about that. I don't know. We'll have to put a poll up to actually see that, but that's a weird claim. I don't know if that's true.
Well, that's what Katie said. So
yeah, again, we'll have to look at some studies. I don't know how much I believe this. I think again, the popularity of Space Mountain over almost any roller coaster in the world would say that might be
I don't know, because there's a lot of kids that wouldn't feel comfortable riding single. A lot of kids don't.
I'll give you that.
Do that. Don't want to do that. They want to sit next to their parent. And they don't want to sit alone. I mean, can be scary.
I can sort of give you that. I can give you that. I guess I can give you that. That's all I can do.
Did we go to Magic Kingdom last time you were here?
Yes,
we did.
Yes, we did. We did, and we did not go on Space or Big Thunder the last round that I was down there.
What did we go on?
We went on Haunted Mansion, Pirates, Mine Train. I think those were our three, and then I think we had to dip out. But
I'm surprised.
Upset we didn't do that. I would really like to refresh myself on some of the classic rides. But the last time
we did. We did one more that you're missing.
Which one? What am I missing?
Carousel of Progress.
We did Carousel of Progress. Okay, yeah, sure.
If you're talking about relaxing rides at Disney World, that's the best one.
I mean, it is one of these, do we consider it a ride? They call it in the thing. They call it a stage show. The carousel does move, so I guess we are on a carousel.
It's a carousel of sorts.
You're going we'll have to like either Wikipedia that to see if that is legit 100% like considered a ride, or
I would consider it
an
a
attraction.
ride.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just semantics at that point. But I would say it's still a ride.
Show, a stage show, a Disney stage show. It's one of these where, like, you know, you might be able to classify the People Mover somewhere different, but it technically is a ride. And it's like, is it that close to a ride in the Carousel of Progress? I don't know. We're not here to fight Carousel of Progress, though.
No, but I do love it. I would ride that way more than I'd ride Space Mountain.
Then you would ride Space Mountain? So you're saying that in Tomorrowland, Carousel of Progress is a bigger draw than Space Mountain?
For myself, maybe.
For anybody. For the world. What do you think is the bigger draw? Because there's no doubt in my mind that other than the People Mover, right? Like, I think it's Space Mountain all day. And this is one of my points.
Tomorrowland, yeah. I mean, Tomorrowland needs a refurbishment.
And that's fair. But, like, Space Mountain is what's holding it down. This really just jumps that ride up to me because it is the icon of that land and one of the icons of the park. And I think that it's a bigger icon for Magic Kingdom, for Disneyland in general, than Big Thunder Mountain is. I don't think the average like Disney goer really even knows about Big Thunder Mountain, to be honest. They know Splash Mountain, they know Space Mountain. Those are probably the two mountains that they would know.
I don't know. I probably will give that to you.
Yeah.
I
would think so.
Everyone knows Space Mountain. Doesn't mean it's the best, though. Everyone knows Big Bang Theory.
Hey, man, a lot of people like Big Bang Theory. So we can't, you know.
Everyone knows Big Bang Theory, but here we go.
But is it not the best sitcom? I mean, I think by numbers, I think it does win, and I think everything else is subjective. So
that's no Seinfeld.
Viewers, well, I mean, I don't know. I think the viewer count is still higher on Big Bang Theory. So technically, I think we have to give it the win, where I think we're going to have to give Space Mountain the win just for that. I'm willing to bet too.
That's weak.
I am really going to go out on a limb here and say when we put the polls up, Space Mountain's going to take it. I'm willing to bet money on this. I'm willing to put something down on this.
You know what you do? You say that. Okay. So when I was looking some stuff up, and I was actually looking, so I had some insider knowledge going into this. I looked at pretty much every like Disney poll that I looked online that compares the two. People pick Big Thunder Mountain over Space Mountain.
They're not our audience though. So
I know,
our audience is a lot cooler. They're
those
a lot smarter.
They were Disney forums. So that's what I was looking at. And I was surprised too. Hey, I'm not saying. And I'll be honest with you. As much as I'm giving it to Space Mountain, it's a classic, right? I'm
he's doing his classic Chris.
I'm not hating on it. I need to for the sake of this talk, but I'm not hating on it in in the way that I'm really pushing. Do I think Big Thunder Mountain is better? Yes, I do.
I think when we put this poll up, I am willing to bet something on this that the poll is going to go in Space Mountain's favor. You know what I'm willing to do, Chris? And we're gonna figure this out right now. I am gonna buy you, if Space Mountain wins. If Space Mountain loses, right? Space Mountain loses the poll that we put up. I'm gonna buy you a set of magic candles. You get to pick any 4 magic candles that you want. I'm gonna buy them for you.
The large sizes too?
Well, hey, don't push it. We'll do large sizes. Don't push it, bro.
yeah. All right, we'll do large size.
We're gonna put some magic candles on the line. And we're going to use our discount code to get us a nice 15% off. All you got to do, you go to magiccandle.com. You go in that little discount code box. Once you get your order ready, you type in the word debate. That's going to get you 15% off your order. And it's going to get us a little bit something to keep this podcast going. Why don't we learn just a little bit more about the Magic Candle Company?
Magic Candle Company themed fragrances allow you to capture the smell of your most cherished vacation memories. Set sail on a swashbuckling pirate adventure. Transport back to the tropical atmosphere of a beautiful South Pacific themed resort. Relive the excitement of a fun-filled day spent on your favorite dark water rides. Soar above a California orange grove. Embark on an exotic river cruise adventure. Recall that first bite of your favorite frozen pineapple treat. Escape to your favorite rocking chair overlooking a murmuring creek as you soak in the splendor of the great outdoors. Enjoy the scent that's beloved by foolish mortals and happy haunts alike. Or even recapture the nostalgic aroma of being a kid again, watching your favorite Saturday morning cartoons. All of this and more is just a click away. Visit MagicCandleCompany.com and escape to your happy place today.
Receive 15% off. Discount code DEBATE.
All right, Chris, what magic candles you want? What are you thinking? Because I think you're gonna be buying me some Star Cruiser, maybe some Port Orleans. Those are my favorites right now.
Okay, we're going to start this off right now by saying that I did not agree to purchasing you candle. You said,
"Oh, come on." I
Well,
guess that's fair. We got to start putting some wagers down, I think, on these polls, man. I think that's what we got to do to make these a little more interesting because, like, I'm just saying, bro, I'm pretty sure I've kicked your butt on almost every poll that we've had. Almost every poll. I think I'm winning our audience over. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I know the majority is true. I know that the majority is true. Let's pull them up, man. If you go onto our Instagram, and
to be fair, I feel like I've been taking a little bit on the underdogs.
You have been, but I've also given you the option almost every single time to choose something else, my friend.
No,
even in that one episode, in the Star Wars episode,
I was ready to fight the opposite challenge. I actually don't.
Let's pull it up. If you go on our Instagram, you guys can check out all of our polls. They're right in the Diz or That section. So we got Haunted Mansion versus Pirates, 59% for Haunted Mansion, 41% for Pirates of the Caribbean. So Haunted Mansion was mine. I win that poll. If we go on to Toy Story versus Finding Nemo, this is a crazy one. 80%, 20%. Toy Story taking the win on that one.
That's surprising, actually.
And then even in the Sid versus Darla poll, 75%, 25%. I'm not going to count that one against you too much because that wasn't actually what we were fighting, but still, Toy Story out on top there. Surprise for Rise of the Resistance. Any surprise here? 87% Rise of the Resistance, 13% for Smuggler's Run. So that's a big one. Let's move on here. Johnny Tsunami, 33%. Brink, 67%.
All right.
Keep it rolling. You want to keep it going? Caribbean Beach versus Port Orleans. Port Orleans, 84%. Caribbean Beach, 16%.
To be fair,
and then the last one.
To be fair, I would have called those all. The only one I did not expect to win probably was Haunted Mansion.
Frozen, 38%. Moana, 62%.
I expected that, honestly.
Did you? A higher one? Because Katie messaged me the other day and she absolutely did not. She was furious by these results. She says that we have to do another poll once Moana 2 comes out because she thinks that's going to make it better. Katie, my friend, I told you then, I'll tell you now. It's only going to strengthen the franchise. Moana 2 is going to take Frozen 2 down, boy. I'm telling you, I'm calling that fight right now.
I am a little surprised about the Johnny Tsunami to be that significant.
People like Brink, man. People
I
get
it. I thought that would have been closer.
The inline skates, dude. I'm telling you, they're gonna make a comeback. The millennial generation is bringing it back, dude.
Port Orleans taking that big. So Port Orleans is my favorite resort, and I don't know if I publicly came out and said this. Not that it's a big reveal, but Port Orleans, I couldn't say it when I was arguing Caribbean Beach.
That's fair.
But Port Orleans is my favorite resort. And I probably expected that to beat Caribbean Beach, but not by that much.
It's a huge
84 to 16 is insanity.
Yeah, people really do not like Caribbean Beach. And again, I think it's just my persuasion skills. I think I really hit them with that one that we were talking about, everything at Caribbean Beach.
Do not think that yucky, played much of a role, but it could have. It could have.
I don't know, man. We got a lot of messages. People were giving me the thumbs up. Caribbean Beach is yucky. Everything's yucky there. So just saying, man, people like jazz
I hate to agree with it, but
no, it's just the beach theme, dude. I don't think people like the beach theme, man. I think the theme is the beach.
I don't think the theme is bad. I just don't think it's...
The theme isn't bad. But I don't think it's what people
could be better. And wait till they redo these rooms. And they might have done every single room so far. I think that's going to change people's view on it. I think the original room decor and everything, it kind of brought me down a little bit, to be honest. And we already talked about this, but it was dark. It was carpeted.
Yeah, he does not like a carpet in his hotel.
I do not like carpets.
Absolutely.
Freaks me out.
I think too, like, and not saying that these are on the same echelon, but there are other beach hotels to where I think like Port Orleans just isn't. There's no other category quite like it. There's nowhere else to stay that's quite like it. Makes it a little more special. That's why I think it took the lead to that extent.
Yeah, I mean, Caribbean is nice now that it's the hub for Skyliner. So
Yeah.
I thought that would be a huge selling point in Caribbean, and that has been a big selling point recently for people at
sure.
Caribbean. But
I kind of think it was necessary a little bit, where I think a lot of sort of probably our audience, a little bit Disney insiders, are probably more about staying at like somewhere like Pop Century to get the Skyliner experience while having, not as big of a bill at the end of the end of your hotel stay.
That's 100%
it's
it.
a great resort.
That's why I'm saying there. But
if you're gonna spend that kind of money, Port Orleans is probably the way to go. It's a little more fun. I mean, and you know what else? I think the biggest thing that we're probably missing here is just the man himself, Yeehaw Bob. That's the one thing that I think could drive that bowl into infinity.
We love him.
Just like the inline skates, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, everybody's loving inline skates. They love inline skating. X Games is going to bring it back. That's why Brink just upper echelon. You know what I mean? Like far beyond what Johnny Tsunami did in those points. So.
I don't know, man. I think Johnny Tsunami. I would have picked that actually. If I felt good about that one.
I know you did, and
that's surprising.
And honestly, I was concerned. I was worried. I didn't know if people like actually loved Brink to the level that I did, but
maybe I really like Johnny Tsunami.
I think so, and
I think I really just like Johnny Tsunami.
I didn't know which one of us was in that category. You know what I mean? Because we were both kind of obsessed with our individual films. And
I loved Johnny Tsunami. Is my favorite.
We got to do too. I would be interested to put this poll up again. I would be interested to like put the whole slew of everything that we've done up again to like get another shot at it to see if there's any sort of like episode persuasion that happens, like far removed from everything. How do these all perform again? Do we see the same results or do we see different results?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I have put up multiple polls for some of these. I think Haunted Mansion and Toy Story, I think we put up at least twice. I don't know if we've done some of the other ones twice or not, but they all have gotten generally similar results. It'd be interesting to do that again and to see where they are. I don't know if anybody's had a change of heart either. Maybe somebody voted one way before listening to an episode, then dive in too. You know that
what?
Could happen.
If you... I think those are going to be hard to beat. I think they pretty much every single one is blown the other one out of the water.
It really has. It really has.
Yeah.
I think one of the
Dude, you got Sorcerer Mickey numbers on.
You see that
on some of these?
Yeah, Sorcerer Mickey. That was a crazy one because I didn't know about Wizard Mickey. I found Wizard Mickey. Wizard Mickey is I believe from Paris, and like. Wow, that's a cool costume. And it's very, very similar to Sorcerer. I wanted to see what people said if they liked Wizard Mickey better because, like, it's probably just because it's different, but, like, I think I kind of lean toward Wizard Mickey in a weird way. I really like Sorcerer Mickey, but,
I think Sorcerer Mickey is just, like, the most iconic Mickey Mouse to me. I mean, the fact that Hollywood Studios got rid of the Sorcerer Mickey hat still blows me away. I think that is the best symbol for a Disney park. I mean, that was the symbol. Now it's just Tower of Terror.
Well, people were, I mean, that was a whole thing. And it is too, like our age demographic. I think like my first going to Disney was when the Sorcerer hat was up. But that was a big point of contention for a lot of people when they put that up because it blocked the entirety of the Chinese theater, the remodel, the remake of the grommets. So like, but that was a big to do.
I'm okay with that though. I mean, it's the Chinese theater is just a like a replica building. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? So
it's interesting. I mean, it's cool.
It wasn't its own icon, like
that's
Hollywood Studios, the Sorcerer's hat, it's its own icon. The Cinderella's Castle, its own icon. Tree of Life icon. Epcot, Spaceship Earth icon. And you kind of lose out on that. You don't really have it. You have Tower of Terror for Hollywood Studios. That's what they use
Yeah.
now for Hollywood Studios, is just
Yeah.
the Tower of Terror. And I don't know if that's necessarily fair to, I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe that's what people think of when they think Hollywood
I
Studios.
guess it's probably the only icon that you can really use. I don't know if they did an outline of the Gromit's theater that you would really like know what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
like where you can tell what a spaceship Earth or the castle is. You know what those are just by the outline.
Yeah, I mean and that was, I mean, when it was MGM, that was the
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. Like the Gromit's theater plays a better role when that park is more MGM, or more movie studio, where now it's just kind of this weird mishmash of stuff. It still has the fantasy sort of California theming. It still has that Hollywood that was but also never will be. Like it's interesting. It's cool. But it also just is a different monster in general right now. To where maybe bringing the hat back in some way, shape, or form would be cool. They could probably just like knock down that entire like animation area. I don't know what actually is going on over there other than the Star Wars like meet and greets, but like,
yeah, I mean,
move Vader to Galaxy's Edge. I don't care about canon, and put a big hat there. That'd be cool.
we didn't intend for this to go into Hollywood Studios discussion, but now that we're talking about Hollywood Studios,
let's talk about it. Because we've kind of killed those two mountains to death. So I'm fine with swerving over here for a minute.
Yeah, Big Thunder Mountain wins. It's faster, so it wins.
It's Space Mountain all day. We'll loop back.
Faster ride, longer ride. So, cooler ride, just better ride in general. So Hollywood Studios, though, yeah, I mean, I think this probably is a discussion that a lot of people have, but does it kind of bum you out a little bit?
It does.
I mean,
if
it didn't have Star Wars, take away Star Wars, take away. You don't even need to take away Star Wars. Leave Star Wars. The park itself is.
It is.
I think missing. It's missing something. It's missing cohesiveness. It's missing. It seems like a town that was built without any planning.
I think it has. It's diverged so much from its original intent that it's still trying to figure out what it is, and it's kind of. It's really struggling. It's really trying. And as much as like there is a movie theater theme around Mickey and Minnie's, like the actual ride itself is very much not involved in the movie. It's the ride is the movie. That's like the thing. But like other than that, it does kind of feel like a weird way to just kind of like put that in that building and have that be that. In Disneyland, it's also in a theater. But I feel like it's just
is this the first like not first. Is this the only Mickey ride?
I believe this is
Disneyland
the first.
Or Disney World?
I believe this is the first. It's now at both Hollywood Studios and at Disneyland. They're both in movie theaters in both of them. But I believe that this is the first. And I think I heard somewhere that it was like there is so much riding on Mickey and Minnie stuff to be top notch that they never wanted to do a ride, because if the ride wasn't like up to snuff, then like
that's fair.
That was a huge hit to the brand of Mickey and Minnie. So like totally makes sense. But they crushed it. They killed it. They knocked it out of the park. I think it's great. But if you also just took that ride and put it in a different theming in not a movie theater, be totally fine.
Yeah.
I think you can do that ride a couple different ways and it can be the same thing.
So I really don't like it in the Chinese theater. I don't mind it in like a theater, but you're putting in a very iconic Hollywood theater.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't fit necessarily.
It doesn't necessarily need to be in there. The Great Movie Ride was a great ride and it made a whole lot of sense in that.
Oh, it was, I think that's exactly. I mean, that's perfect for that location. It's perfect for the location.
They're kind of built hand in hand.
You have all the handprints and the sightings and the, it feels very Hollywood. You have the Great Movie Ride. But they're moving away from non-Disney IP, right? So they don't want to be touching that stuff.
It was also an old ride. Like it didn't hold up to today's standards. You could do that thing 1,000 times better. There was a lot of rumor and
it was aged. Yeah. But I don't know necessarily you could look at that ride as something that's classic Disney. The live action nature of it, you don't get that in
No,
any
and
other
I would
rides.
like to see that be brought back 1,000%. I think that ride could have been done as like a re-theme, as an update. I think there's a lot of things that could have been done with that. One of the big things that people were proposing, I believe it was actually on the table at some point, and it could have either been a re-theme for that ride or a separate ride altogether. But there was a Muppets version of that where it was going to be like the Muppets Great Movie Ride, and they were going to tell you a bunch of facts about all of the movies, but all the facts would be completely wrong. I'm still in for that. I want them to bring that back so hard.
I don't hate that. I think that would be funny. I don't want that right there, though.
You don't want that in the park. He doesn't want that.
I think that like that location too is that's where like your best ride should be,
and that's fair. If it is going to be in your like your icon spot, whether the Grommets Theater is the icon or not, that makes sense. Your best ride, and that's why I think the Mickey and Minnie ride works. I think that's fine. But the Muppets need some love at that place. If we're gonna like Hollywood it up at Hollywood Studios, the Muppets are like your go-to IP to throw in there, man. Like every movie
you
that they're
Muppet
dealing
section, though.
in the Muppet section really needs love. I mean, to be perfectly honest,
you can say that about anywhere in Hollywood Studios. It needs love.
That needs love. I mean, that's fair.
But Batu and Toy Story are perfect,
more or less. I think you know. Obviously, we could nitpick everything all day, but those two are fine.
But for what they are, yeah.
But there's nothing other than the Muppets, Muppet Vision 3D. The Muppets need a ride, man. The Muppets need a dark ride, and like, let's be real, we got some Star Wars stuff going on. Star Tours is cool, but like, if you just took that Star Tours area and you made that more Muppet stuff, I think that's the play all day, man. I think you have a decent Star Wars presence in the park.
I'll disagree with that specifically. I don't. I think Muppets are fine. I'm not a huge. I know you're a big Muppets guy.
You're not a big Muppet guy.
I have never been a big Muppets guy. Puppets in general are not my thing.
Oh, they're great though.
So
it's the Muppets, bro.
So I don't love Muppets. So I'm not gonna say because it's just not my thing. So it could be. I do think Star Tours to just revamp it a little bit. Given that doesn't excite me.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Does
to throw
that
in
seem
the new
a little
stuff.
lazy to you?
I mean, it's a part of why they built the ride the way they built it. I like that they're trying to take new, like the Ahsoka, the Mandalorian, Andor is all now in the ride. That's really, really cool. But it just really, and this is going back to our Galaxy's Edge discussion of just like, we got Smuggler's Run on the other side of this. I would love to see those things more implemented in Smuggler's Run than in Star Tours. I think you kind of have the same
I don't know.
vibe.
It feels weird. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't like having another Star Wars thing outside of Batu.
It feels strange. It feels very weird, disjointed in like the entire park in a way. And this is probably why it like technically is my favorite park, but it's like you have Star Tours, you have Galaxy's Edge, and then you have like the whole animation area is just basically where to meet Chewie and Darth Vader. So it's like everywhere in the park is Star Wars.
Which is just like a rest section for parents now. You just go there to sit. You know,
I would almost rather you pick up Mickey and Minnie's, move it over to the Magic Kingdom, and just make the entire park Star Wars. Make it one big Galaxy's Edge. It's just like, if we're doing this much Star Wars, like might as well.
There's some.
You got Toy Story Land. You got some other stuff going on. I don't want to take away too much from Hollywood Studios, but like, come on, you know.
Do you remember that? The Honey, I Shrunk the Audience ride?
Yes, I do remember that. Yes.
Where was that?
Honestly, I don't remember where it was.
No idea where that was.
I think it was Epcot. Was it Epcot?
No, I thought it was Hollywood Studios.
I thought
or MGM.
I mean, it could very, very well be. Honey, I Shrunk.
The Audience. I remember it because it also had another like seat scare.
Yes, seat scares were the bane of my existence. Oh my god!
I still won't go on Bugs Life.
Bugs Life. Oh, dude, I freaked out when I was on Bugs Life. I had a panic attack. My dad was like very upset with me because I was screaming in the middle of that when the bees were going to come out. We're going to sting you. We're going to poke you. Ooh.
I don't like any of that. I don't want any sensation on my seat.
Me. No,
I don't want that. I just don't want it. I think it's awful. I think it freaks me out. And there's no reason me as an adult now should not want to go on that ride.
Be that afraid of it?
But it shows how like almost traumatic it was to me as a child.
It was 1,000%
That I
traumatic.
really don't want to go. Every time, like, I'm at Animal Kingdom now, Katie will ask if I want to go to Bug's Life because there'll be like a 10-minute wait or something.
And he's like, nah.
And I just don't want to do it. It's because of that too. I don't want to experience that.
He doesn't want to be touched.
You'll I mean, kids just cry in that ride.
Yeah.
And they have it, and they still have it. It's like
I do think there is a work for a remake for something else to go in there. I feel like I've heard that. I don't know if that's legit or not, but I've heard that there is something else going in that theater at some point in the near future.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm excited for the Animal Kingdom updates, honestly.
Yeah.
To change the dinosaur section up. Or not the dinosaur,
the Dino Fair land is. Yeah, that'd be great. I think it's well needed. Dinosaur USA or whatever it's called.
I don't know if they're probably keeping dinosaur though.
I cannot remember what the plans are for that, but I think there was some back and forth. There's like some Indiana Jones stuff that's apparently going in there.
It's going South America. And Central America. I don't know. It might
go over in that section, I heard people talking about.
Well, they have some, they have some Encanto, which...
Yes. Interesting move for that park. It feels weird, but that's fine. I think it needs something, It's tough to do a zoo-like park and try to get away from the zoo thing. Like, that's what's interesting. It's almost like they want to turn it into something else other than what it originally was. I don't know if that's the play.
Really like Animal Kingdom. I do.
You guys.
I think it's the most fun park to walk around because visually it's the most appealing. You're walking through like greenery the entire time. It's very nice. It feels like you're walking through gardens, and it's really nice in that regard. Where you don't really get that at the other parks. Other parks, you're kind of on a concrete jungle kind of.
You're on a main street. You're on a downtown street in California. Yeah,
well, even in the Hollywood studios, though, I mean, there's so much open walking space.
Yeah, I
don't know.
He doesn't like it. He doesn't like space.
I don't know. I'm not trying to. I don't want to bash Hollywood studio. I'm yearning for something to change.
He needs some plant life. That's what he needs. He wants to look at some biology.
Well, if you're not a Star Wars person,
and that's fair, dude. Like Hollywood
just
Studios,
in general,
what does it have to offer you?
If you're not a Star Wars person, Hollywood Studios is probably a half-day park for you. You can do a half. I mean, unless you're waiting on the rides. If you're going to wait all day, and that's a big problem too with Hollywood Studios. Is that the lines of Hollywood Studios are for the rides that you want to go on. They're atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, what you could spend an entire day from rope drop to park close just trying to do Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, and like Slinky Dog. Yeah,
and
that's not even. And then you do Mickey and Minnie.
You do Mickey and Minnie too. You can probably do 4 rides in the entire day because those lines can approach.
If you're not exhausted from standing around.
Yeah, I mean, Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror can hit 60 easily.
Those are crazy.
And then Mickey and Minnie and Slinky Dog can be 120 plus.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to just do. So I could see why people would want to hit one ride and then bail out to Epcot or park hop somewhere else like that.
And so
it does make sense.
That does bring up another point is how much I love those parks kind of at the same time because you can walk to the other park very easily.
Take a Skyliner over, do something. Yeah,
you can take the Skyliner, or I mean, the walk is really nice. You walk behind basically Boardwalk, and you get right there. So it's a mile, I think, total, but it doesn't feel like you're walking along the water. It's a really nice, enjoyable walk.
You're walking a lot anyway. If you're doing park day, you're going to be
walking a mile's really nothing for you if you're And if you can go to Hollywood Studios and you can walk over to Epcot. We go to Epcot all the time, and we'll go to Hollywood Studios for an hour or something, or if we want to go to Oga's or another. It just gives you options, so it's fun. You really need the park hopper option if you're getting a ticket.
If you're not a Star Wars person, you're trying to do Hollywood Studios. I think that is a good. I think park hopper all day, that makes sense. But hey, man, I've spent an entire day just on Batuu, and it wasn't enough. I could have spent an entire weekend. Spent 3-day weekend there, just there. You give me
You're
that
a
Star
Batu
Wars
guy.
hotel back, man. I will book it today. I will
know.
book the Star Cruiser.
I'm excited to see what they end up doing. What they end up doing for sure.
If they do it, I'll do it again, man. I will sign up. I will do it right away. You got my money, Disney. You threaten me by taking it away. Give it back, and I'll pay you your fee, whatever you need. It's fine.
You were ready to go right before they announced closing.
Right before.
You were like right before, right?
I put together an entire room of people who are gonna go, who are down, like who are gonna do this. I put together a costume. I put together a backstory. Like I was ready to go, and then shut it down. So yeah, that sucked.
Oh, good.
That hurt. That hurt big time. We'll see. We'll see what they do. But you know what? I think at the end of the day, Christopher, I think Space Mountain is the superior mountain.
It's a little funky today, but
we just spent a whole 20 or 30
you know
minutes.
what? We're episode 8 is a good lesson on, maybe working on how we're going to format. So I'm
there's
good on
formatting things, there's prepping things. How do we do stuff? To
you know
bring
what?
it back around,
I like it. But Big Thunder Mountain number 1. I don't want to say I'm interested in the polls because I have not been.
Yeah,
that surprised. I haven't been doing well.
I mean, this could be the week, though. I mean, this could be the week. I genuinely
honestly
do not know.
With our audience being what it is, it really could. It could turn around. It could turn around. I didn't even mention that you can see the Magic Kingdom fireworks very well from the Big Thunder Mountain too. So
you know what? You can't do that in an enclosed building. So I'll give that to you. You can't do that from Space Mountain. But you know what is really cool?
Do it.
You know what's really dope, and you see this a lot. Taking the monorail, going on the People Mover, looking at the fireworks as they kind of come up from the from behind Space Mountain. Like that's a beautiful picture. The beauty of Space Mountain and how that thing just looks, dude, with the fireworks coming off the back, like the new lighting packages that they put on Space Mountain. Space Mountain is a pretty mountain.
We'll see.
We can't deny that.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Is it as pretty as the one in Paris?
It's not a mountain, but
the Paris one's cool. The Paris one's really cool. Have you seen the Paris one? The Space Mountain in Paris? That's all kind of like, it's almost like steampunk-esque. It's based on I believe it was a 1928 French novel, like a very early sci-fi novel, and they kind of themed it all out like that. They have this whole like big gun thing that launches your ship out, does a cool smoke effect.
It looks like the Atlantis. No.
What?
Treasure Planet.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It looks like Treasure Planet.
That whole kind of like steampunk vibe thing to it. That kind of really early, like Tomorrowland is retro futurism, but like that is like retro futurism.
Is the Paris one? Is it? It's fully Star Wars now.
I believe it is Hyperspace Mountain.
I think it is exclusively.
100%,
yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah,
I watched the ride footage of the original one. I watched the ride footage of the Hyperspace Mountain one. I do think that the Hyperspace Mountain in Disneyland is better than that one. I think that there just are cooler projection effects and stuff that are going on where like that doesn't have it. Could just be the ride footage too. Ride footage on some of the indoor rides are really bad. It's hard to capture that really well. But there's some cool stuff. It's neat. I have not been on a Hyperspace Mountain at all, and I really would like to. I think that just is a cool kind of concept and idea.
It is cool.
Do I think it's going to be as kind of thrilling as, like Rise of the Resistance, Smuggler's Run? No, not in the same way, but it's not
trying to be. It's not, it's not.
And it's kind of like the Incredicoaster. Not that we've been on that. We haven't been out to Disneyland, but like the where it's just a roller coaster with a couple of cardboard jacks kind of just like plunked around. It's like, it's neat. It's a cool idea. It's a coaster theme.
I know that ride very well.
Yeah.
Well,
I
guess we'll see what it is. We'll go to the polls. We'll see what happens.
We're gonna have to give it to the people at this point.
You know what? I'm expecting another hit to the heart here, but so be it. If that's the case, so be it.
It's a solid. They're both solid rides. I think they both do their things very well. Space and sort of the Old West are two very, very different themes.
Almost opposite.
They're like completely opposite. So it'll be interesting to see what people want to say. Again, our audience is very unique. Very, they're in the weeds. They're in the Disney, the Disney lore. They're into the Disney parks, man. So they could have very different opinions than most people.
I'll like to see it.
They
I do
chose
wanna see it.
Gonzo over Fozzie Bear in the polls, man. So like anything can happen, dude. Not what I
Okay.
would have thought. He's not a big Muppet guy. He doesn't care about either of them.
Yeah, okay, but I'm surprised. I'd pick Fozzie Bear. See, I'm just picking the wrong thing. All right, we'll see. Well, let's wrap this up. I gotta go home.
We're gonna give you a extra time to think, my friend. So you can choose one that'll win in the polls.
All right.
If you want to go check out those polls, make sure to go to our Instagram at Diz or That Pod, DIS or That Pod. Check us out on Instagram. Those polls will be in the stories today on Wednesday, and they should be out maybe a few more times just to make sure we're getting accurate polls. We're going to put up some of the old ones too, so if you haven't participated in any of those, I want to see if you guys have differing opinions than what's actually happened so far. As well, if you guys are into TikTok, go check us out, Diz or That Pod on TikTok. And if you want to watch the video versions of these podcasts, make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, do the comments, do the likes, do the whole deal so that the algorithm starts popping us out a little bit harder.
What's the bell
on
do?
YouTube. The bell gives you notifications, gives you alerts. Make sure so when we post up new episodes, you'll be alerted of that. I know that some podcasting apps do that as well. Audio only is available just about on every single podcast platform out there. So if you're more into the audio, which I know a majority of our audience has been.
Yeah, I listened to it. It's a good podcast.
Go listen to it there. Spotify, Apple. I believe Apple is one of our bigger ones, but make sure to go do that. And also make sure to leave us reviews on those platforms too. The reviews really help us out. Write a review or just give us, a 5-star rating, or you know what? I'm not going to tell you what to do. If you want to give us a 1-star rating, that is your prerogative. Let us know if we're terrible. That's fine. We got to learn some way, shape, or form. We're trying to make this thing the best thing it can be. But once again, we're available pretty much everywhere you can find us, Diz or That Pod. Let's say thanks once more to our sponsor for this episode, the Magic Candle Company. Make sure to drop in our discount code DEBATE for 15% off. It helps the channel out. Make sure that we can keep kind of pumping these things out for you and making sure that we can get out to Magic Kingdom at some point in time to go on both Big Thunder and Space Mountain. We're definitely going to have to do another like YouTube companion video of us going on both of them and giving a little bit of a deeper review and explaining why Space Mountain is king.
It's the worst.
Chris, you got anything left?
I am out of talk right now.
He's out of sticks. He's got to go get a stew out of the oven.
I got to go get a stew out of the oven.
Let's wrap this up. That's not a euphemism.
That's not a euphemism. I actually have a stew in the oven. I got to get that out.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. We can't wait to see you next week for a special Star Wars May 4th episode. Get hyped, everybody. See you guys next time here at the happiest debate on Earth.
This podcast was brought to you by the Magic Candle Company. Relive your favorite theme park memories through the magical sense of smell. Receive 15% off at checkout by using discount code DEBATE and help our channel in the process.